What is meaning, and why do we chase it? Why does the human mind, fragile and finite, yearn for purpose in a world that seems indifferent to its existence? What if everything, every belief, every goal, every ounce of hope we possess is nothing more than a flicker in an endless void? What if the universe does not care about us? What if it has never cared? What if we are simply dust drifting in the wind of infinity, without reason or rhyme? These are not the words of despair, but the words of truth that have long echoed through the corridors of nihilism, a philosophy that, while often feared and misunderstood, seeks to peel back the comforting layers of illusion that we have built around ourselves, only to expose the cold, indifferent reality of existence. Nihilism is not for the faint of heart. It is not for those who cling to comforting stories, nor for those who believe the world has a purpose that they can grasp. It is the philosophy of the void. It is the final answer to the question of whether anything has inherent meaning. Nihilism answers, no. Nothing has meaning. Nothing matters. Not your pain, not your joy, not your life, nor your death. And yet, for some, this radical rejection of meaning opens the door to an unimaginable freedom. But how does this paradox unfold? What are the true implications of embracing a philosophy that claims that everything is ultimately meaningless? Let's explore this journey through the profound depths of nihilism, where we discover the beauty that exists in the acceptance of the void. The genesis of nihilism, a word of nothingness. The roots of nihilism are ancient, and though the term itself is relatively modern, the seeds of its philosophy can be found deep within human history. The word nihilism originates from the Latin nihil, meaning nothing. In its most basic form, nihilism is the rejection of all religious and moral principles, the belief that life has no inherent purpose or meaning, and that our existence is but a temporary and insignificant phenomenon in the vast, uncaring universe. The nothingness that nihilism speaks of is not an absence of physical matter, but the absence of meaning itself. In a universe where nothing is permanent, where stars are born, burn out, and die without anyone noticing, where civilizations rise and fall like the shifting sands of time, what is the significance of one human life? What is the purpose of knowledge, or even of love? Nihilism questions all of it. It dares to ask, what if the world is simply indifferent? What if our minds and hearts have created meaning where none exists? In a world this vast, does our existence even matter? Is our pain meaningful, or is it just a random accident in the cosmic dance? Nihilism and knowledge, the illusion of understanding. One of the most unsettling aspects of nihilism is its dismissal of knowledge. In a society that reveres knowledge, that prides itself on scientific discovery and intellectual achievement, the very idea that knowledge might be meaningless feels like a cruel joke. But nihilism challenges this foundational belief. Consider how we view the universe. For centuries, we have tried to understand the cosmos through science, religion, and philosophy. We seek patterns, laws, and explanations, believing that if we can just uncover the truth, we will know our place in the vast expanse of time and space. But what if the truth is that there is no truth? Take the law of gravity, for example. Sir Isaac Newton's discovery of gravity changed the course of human understanding, allowing us to harness the forces of nature to our advantage. Gravity, it seems, is a universal truth. But is it really? Gravity, as we understand it, is a human concept, an interpretation of the force that holds our world together. We apply it to our lives, and we live by it. But in the grand scale of the universe, does gravity matter? Does it have meaning? It existed long before we had the language to describe it. It will continue to exist long after we are gone, with or without our understanding. In the infinite expanse of the cosmos, does our knowledge really change anything? The universe will continue to unfold in its own way, indifferent to the thoughts and theories of human beings. Whether we know gravity or not, the stars will burn out, galaxies will collide, and life will cease. Our understanding of the universe may bring us comfort, but in the end, it is but an ephemeral creation of our minds. It doesn't change the fact that we are, ultimately, insignificant in the grand design of things. Nihilism and morality. The absurdity of good and evil. Nihilism takes a similar view when it comes to morality. The concepts of good and evil, right and wrong, are human constructs. They are not universal truths, but social agreements, cultural norms designed to keep order in a chaotic world. But in a universe where nothing has inherent meaning, can we truly say that any action is truly good or bad? Consider a simple example. Two people, A and B, are walking down the street. They get into an argument, and in the heat of the moment, A insults B. From a moral standpoint, A has wronged B. But is it really wrong? If A has been carrying the weight of years of anger and frustration, if B has wronged A in the past, is the insult still truly evil? The concept of wrong becomes fluid. In one context, the insult may be justified. In another, it may be deemed cruel. But ultimately, does it matter? Does the universe care whether one person insults another? Does the universe even know what wrong is? Nihilism forces us to confront the unsettling truth that morality is a human invention, a tool for creating order in an inherently chaotic and meaningless world. This is the heart of the nihilist view. There is no absolute morality, no universal standard for right and wrong. Just as there is no cosmic law that says the stars must align in a particular way, there is no absolute law that dictates how humans should behave. The spiritual void, nihilism, and the search for meaning in existence. But perhaps the most profound question nihilism raises is the question of meaning. If life has no inherent purpose, if there is no grand design to our existence, what are we to do with our lives? If the universe is indifferent to our suffering, if there is no reason to anything we do, should we even continue to live? This is the darkest aspect of nihilism, the death of meaning, the idea that there is no purpose to life. And yet, there is also a strange liberation in this. If nothing has meaning, if we are simply drifting through time and space, then we are free to live our lives without fear of judgment, without concern for whether we are doing it right. There is no need to chase success, to find meaning in relationships, or to accumulate wealth. We can live authentically, free from the oppressive weight of societal expectations. In this light, nihilism is not a philosophy of despair, but a call to freedom. If nothing has meaning, then we are free to create our own meaning. We are free to live as we see fit, to seek pleasure, to experience joy, to create art, not because we are fulfilling some greater cosmic plan, but because it is all we have. The final truth, the freedom found in the void. What does it mean to live in the face of nihilism? To acknowledge that the universe is indifferent, that there is no grand purpose to our lives? It means we are free, free to live in the moment, free to create, to love, to experience life in all its messy, fleeting beauty. The paradox of nihilism is this. In rejecting meaning, we discover the deepest kind of freedom. Freedom from the pressure of expectation. Freedom from the burden of needing to prove ourselves. In the face of the void, we realize that we are not special. We are simply part of the grand, indifferent dance of the universe. And in that realization, we find a strange kind of peace. For those brave enough to stare into the abyss, nihilism offers not despair, but liberation. A chance to live without fear, without guilt, without the need to justify our existence. We are free to create our own meaning, free to embrace the mystery of life without needing to find answers. So, what should you do with your life? The truth is, nothing really matters, but that is the greatest gift of all, the freedom to choose how you live, how you love, and what you create in a world where nothing is preordained. You are free, and that in itself is the only truth worth embracing.